Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and I'm going to be smoking a cigar with you today. I know, it's been a minute. Right, and for those of you on the YouTube and the Rumble, it has been a minute since you've seen the messy garage of love. The garage of love. But, no, so I'm feeling a lot better. Still kind of hear it in my voice a little bit, but I'm not, like, the head cold's gone, which is good. This time of year, man, I don't know about it with the rest of you, but around here, the temperatures have been up and down and up and down and up and down, and we've had moisture and dry, and it's just, it's playing hell on everybody. The sickness is rampant. It's no fun. And then, those of you with kids, you know that your kids are nothing but little petri dishes that go off to school and come back with God knows what, and they just infect you, and it's no fun. It's no fun. But anyway, I'm over that, and I'm smoking now. So today, I am going to be smoking a Villiger 1888 Nicaragua Churchill. It's a 7x47 featuring an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania filler. And as I smoke this cigar, I'll be getting to your phone calls. Yes, this is an Ask the Pulpit episode. I haven't done one in surprisingly quite a while. And there's a number of phone calls that have built up. So I figure it's time to go ahead and get to those and clear those out and let a whole new round hopefully come in. So for those of you who are sitting back going, what's Ask the Pulpit? I have a hotline. You can call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000, and call in with your comments, questions, concerns, general goofiness, whatever it happens to be. You'll hear in a little bit, like, they're all, the questions are all over the place. So, you can also email me. I always forget to include this part. You can always email me at Nick, N-I-C-K, Nick@cigarpulpit.com. But anyway, I'm going to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. I've been doing quite a bit of the excellent customer service over there lately, dealing with it lately with them, because I've been placing lots of additional orders to go along with my show pack, my monthly show pack that I get, which I swear, Dave, you found that collector mentality. You found that little thing. And I know it's not just me, because I know there's other people that are doing it, and it's one of those things that you're like, oh, I have these trading cards, and I'm going to put out these packs monthly and do this and that and whatever. And the only way you get the trading card is if you buy this pack, and then, you have to buy all these packs to get the full set. And, yeah, it's Pokemon syndrome, man. I got to catch them all. So, I've since bought the meatball pack, and then now there's the new Perdomo pack that I think I got the email about that literally today. So yeah, the shipments from Two Guys are ever increasing. So anyway, head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you, and remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. So we're going to get this guy cut and lit, and then we are going to get to all of your calls and thoughts and, everything. What's on your mind? Whatever's on your mind. By the way, I guess before I get this guy lit, I'll talk about my little Well, no, I'll light this guy, and then we'll get into some little fun stuff, and then we'll get into that. So, the SV cutter. Calibri SV cutter. Total random thought. For those of you on the YouTube, I don't even know if you can see, but like when you do the straight cut, it has this little bit of a ledge. Like it's like kind of not quite fully, I don't know. I have this little bit of a ledge in the cut there, and I don't know if I'm pulling the cigar away as it's cutting or what's going on there, but I just get that, and I have to smooth it out, but it's no big deal. All right, guys. Well, while I light the cigar, why don't you listen to the greatest commercial you've ever heard?
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm turning on my window fan. Forgot to do that. I'm using my electric fly swatter to reach it. Anyway. So, before I get into the calls, just a little update. I did a project the other day. So, I have a cabinet humidor that I, has made its way to me. And I have, a number of cigars in there. And one of these days, once I get it organized, I'll do a cigar tour video for you. But for right now, I just have my cigars in there. And well, I was going to figure out what I'm going to smoke in this episode. I'm looking and it dawned on me that I can tell you about the project that I did this weekend. So this past weekend, I ran up to Lowe's and I found these 6, they're little puck lights. They're just round little puck lights. And Lowe's was advertising them as, you can put them underneath your counter and blah, blah, blah. But I knew what I wanted to do. And so I installed them in my humidor, and I have the 3 levels, and I have them in there, and it has a little fancy remote and everything, and it just lights up my cigars so wonderfully, and it's just a nice little addition. So, this is just my friendly public service announcement to you to maybe look at your setup and just think, how can I spend just a little bit of time and a little bit of money and to improve this? You don't have to go big. This was $30 for a 6-pack with the remote and everything, and came with the batteries and everything. So $30 got me lit cigars, and not with a lighter, but you know what I mean. I could see them now, and that's the key, because some of them in the back, they were kind of dark back there, and I couldn't see them, and so they were just sitting in. So now I can see them, and they're not escaping me. Like this Villiger, I had a number of Villigers together, but for whatever reason, this Villiger was kind of hanging out near the back of one of the trays, and I saw him tonight as I was looking through the humidor trying to figure out what I was going to smoke, and I'm like, oh my God, I think that Churchill has my name on it. And so, thanks to the lighting, I was able to do that. So anyway, that's my little pro tip for you is if you have an idea, do it. Don't wait. Just do it. It'll enhance your whole cigar smoking experience. All righty. Well, let's move into the calls.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
All right, it's time for some Ask the Pulpit. And as I said, you guys can get your calls and questions in by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. That's area code 863-874-0000. So let's go ahead and get this on and start with the first call here. Maybe.
Hey, Nick, Boots here from West Virginia.
Boots.
I'm going to apologize now if you hear any expletives. I'm fighting DC traffic during rush hour for the second time because I forgot something. I had to make a trip back.
That sucks.
Not a good day. However, what makes it a good day is I am catching up on the Cigar Pulpit. It is now Thursday, but I am catching last Friday's episode. I was away for business and didn't have time to listen to the podcast, so I will finish that. I'm going to listen to Tuesday's episode next. However, I have to call in and I have to warn you.
Uh-oh.
Do not step on cockroaches ever. I got this advice when I was in college, and it has paid off dividends. So I got the advice. I accepted it as fact. Never really thought much about it. Just said, okay, I'm not going to step on them. The reason being is because the cockroach eggs, if you step on a cockroach, the cockroach eggs can get on your shoe. And a buddy of mine used to bounce bars, and he's the one who told me about this. And he said a buddy of his stepped on a cockroach, took it, he went home, and then the eggs were all over his shoes, and then he ended up with cockroaches. Okay, well, you don't think much about it, and you think, okay, old wives' tale. But for me, I'm like, well, it's not worth risking. I don't want cockroaches in my house.
It's true.
However, fast forward a few years, when I was active duty down in Georgia, you can't live without you can't live in the barracks down there without seeing cockroaches or palmetto bugs, whatever they want to call them. They're cockroaches all around. Regardless, we get down there and found one in my barracks room. I grabbed a dustpan, put it on the dustpan, threw it out the window. My buddy's like, why don't you just step on it? And I tell them, hey, never step on a cockroach because of this reason. Well, they didn't want to believe me. So one of my buddies didn't listen. One day I'm sitting in my barracks room. I get a call. Hey, come up to the third floor. I come up, and no joke, they're in the middle of his barracks room were a bunch of baby cockroaches squirming and little moving around. It was really gross. Regardless, they just kind of hatched, and they're in the middle of this floor. And I'm like, what the hell? He goes, hey, man, I didn't believe you, and I stepped on a cockroach the other day, and this is what happened. Well, you could say, okay, well, you know what? That just happens sometimes because you have cockroaches, but they're not going to lay their eggs in the middle of the floor. It's just not going to happen.
No.
So either way, he learned a lesson. I was reinforced with the lesson I learned a long time, or I was told about, I guess, right? Do not step on a cockroach, even if you want to see it live for another 9 days. Thank you, Pinky, for that fact as well. Either way, stay smoky. Have a great one. Take care.
All right. Well, now I remember why he brought this up was the Pinky fun fact. I was thinking, I'm like, when did I talk about cockroaches? But yeah, Pinky fun fact. I've got a number of calls, guys. So I'm kind of stretching back a little bit. That Boots, he called in on that on January 22nd. So it's, like I said, it's been a minute since I've done an Ask the Pulpit. I didn't realize that. So, but anyway, I appreciate the story there, Boots. It's nightmare fuel for me. I hate bugs. It reminds me of when I was living in my duplex, and it was a very large spider that was up in the corner of my bathroom. And I got a picture, and I Googled, and because I wanted to see, am I dealing with something that will kill me, or just something that looks menacing. And it was a wolf spider, so it's something that looks menacing, not really going to kill me. Truthfully, not a bad spider to have in your house, because the wolf spider eats brown recluses and black widows and the nasty spiders that you don't want in your house. But at the same time, I have a rule with spiders in my house, and that rule is, if I don't see you, then we're cool. But the minute I see you, we have a problem. I don't want to see you. I know there's spiders in my domicile, but I don't want to see them. And so as long as they don't screw with my stuff, I don't want cobwebs everywhere. And as long as they stay out of sight, we're good. We're fine. But this spider made the mistake of coming out. So I said to myself, all right, I'm going to leave this spider in the corner. And if the spider is still there at the end of the day, like when I come back, I was getting ready to leave to go somewhere. And I said, if the spider is still there when I come back, I will address this spider. Well, unfortunately, the spider was still in the corner when I got back. And so what I did is I took a paper bowl and a paper plate. and I scooped the spider into the paper bowl with the paper plate, and I kind of cupped it over the top, took it outside, and I threw the spider outside. Now, realistically, that spider probably was eaten by a bird like 2 seconds later or something like that. Whatever. That's not my problem. I did my bit. I attempted to let him live. But the thing that concerned me is in my research of wolf spiders to determine, if this is going to kill me or not. What I found is that you should be very careful when stepping on or smashing said wolf spider, because oftentimes the female wolf spider will carry its young on its back. And that's when you get that situation where you have this big, hairy looking spider, and then something hits it, attacks it, whatever, and all the little babies just scatter and they go everywhere. And that is nightmare fuel for me. I do not want baby spiders scattering all over the place. That is not something that I will tolerate. That is not something I will ever deal with. And so I will just, like I said, bugs. I don't have roaches. I know that much. But but spiders, it's like, no, let's let the spiders just, they live in their world. They can eat the worst spiders and worst bugs and whatever else. But I don't want to see them. All right, moving on to another call.
Hey, Nick. Dave here.
It's Dave.
Dave. You know which Dave it is.
I do know what Dave.
Anyway, I always plan on calling all the time. I have an idea in my head, and despite knowing that your number ends with 0000, which, by the way, is very cool, I can never remember the others.
Oh.
So after hearing your episode on the pie pairing episode that I just heard, it dawns on me. Tofu pie. TOFUPIE, TOFUPI 0000. That's 863-874-0000. TOFUPIE 0000. I'll never forget it now, and neither will anybody else. Anywho, the reason for my call is I love the email, the Cigar Chronicle. Can't wait for the paper edition to come out in our lounge and everywhere else. And bananas are berries, yet strawberries are not berries. Fucked up. Okay, that's it. Bye.
So Dave got the first of the newsletter, the Cigar Chronicle. So for those of you who haven't signed up yet, head on over to cigarpulpit.com. There's a little pop-up window that comes up there, and the window, you can sign up. It's a free newsletter. The next one will be going out soon. It's going to aim somewhere in that 15th to the 20th of the month kind of time frame. Mostly because that's when I got the first one out. So, kind of mid-month. But although April's going to be a bit of a bitch because that time frame falls literally right in the PCA window. So I'm either going to get it out right before PCA or probably right before PCA, and then maybe I might do a little fun after, like, recap or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to be, April's going to be an interesting month for me. But anyway, so Dave got the first email. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dave. What Dave is referring to with the print thing, I talked about it on here before. My plan, I rolled it out initially first digitally because I just wanted to get it going. I got to, it's one of those things sometimes you just got to push forward and you got to get it going. And so I got it going digitally, and now the plan is that it's going to be a complimentary newsletter for lounges. So if you're a cigar lounge owner or employee and you would be interested in having a stack of complimentary little just basic little newsletters that if you didn't get the email, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's not super show specific. It's not Cigar Pulpit in the show. It's some goofy news, so that your lounge goers can read a short little article about anything. It's kind of goofy, but it's something that starts conversation in the lounge amongst the people sitting around the lounge. It has cigar news. I do recap some cigar news. We recap some of the new cigars that have come out recently, so that it kind of gives consumers something to check out and be like, oh, that's new. Let me see where I can find that. That kind of thing. It has fun facts. It has trivia. It has the print one is going to have like a game, because people like the games, crosswords or Sudoku or probably crosswords or a word search, but that kind of thing. And then a cigar review. Luke, My Sticks 35 millimeter. He's contributing a cigar review every edition, so there'll be a cigar review every time. But anyway, it's going to be something available to lounges so that they can have it. It's just an extra, completely free to them, bonus add-on to the lounge experience. Just something a small thing they can have sitting there, so that if a guy comes in maybe by himself and he wants something to look at, it's there. If maybe your regulars come in and they want something to look at, it's there, and they can kind of go from there, and hopefully it sparks conversation. So that is open and available to any lounge, any cigar lounge. I have right now five on the list. I have a number in mind that I want to, kind of hit, and then at that point I can start printing it and mailing it. Because that's the thing. There is a bit of a cost to me, but it's not nominal, but it is there. But so I want to make sure that like I'm getting that going. But anyway, I appreciate the kind words, Dave. The next one will be coming soon, and yes, we will be getting print editions done up soon. Actually, my newspaper printer will be helping me with that. I'll be printing them at the same place I get my newspapers, so that'll be kind of convenient for me, and maybe it'll get me a bit of a break on the newspaper printing. I doubt it, but you never know. Anyway, all right. Well, moving on to the next call. Thank you, Dave. TOFUPIE0000. 0000.
Jerry, please here. I would like to offer my 2 cents, as it were, about this grape controversy challenge there, as it turns out. Jerry, please here. I would like to eat upwards of 100 grapes there. I do suffer from addiction to grapes and chronic depression. So this is a win-win situation there, as it turns out. Also, as a sidebar there, I have been microdosing with cyanide in my TV dinners for the better part of 3 decades now. So I do think I have a competitive advantage there, as it turns out. Anywho, stay smoky.
See, this is the problem with me doing these episodes so like far past. I don't know what Jerry's talking about with grapes. This is interesting. I mean, I like grapes. At some point in late January, I must have done something or talked about grapes, because he mentions grapes quite a bit. There's a grape controversy, but I freely admit, Jerry, I don't remember what the hell you're talking about. So I apologize for not knowing about the grapes, but I do know that if there's ever any challenge or some sort of thing to be done, I do know that Jerry Pulaski is typically the one that's down for that. So I appreciate the call there, Jerry. So moving on, we have another call here.
Nick, can you hear me?
Dennis.
It's Dennis from the hinterlands of Western Canada. I'm stuck in the polar vortex.
Huh.
Oh, wait. Jerry Pulaski is stuck in it too. He just threw me a Robusto. I think we're going to be okay. Stay smoky and warm, brother. Bye for now.
You know, Dennis, I appreciate hearing the call, and boy, that feels like it was forever ago. Although, to be honest, all the snow from it is still sitting around. It's almost gone around here. We've gotten warm enough that I have lawn again. But there are some areas that still have some snow, and those big piles of snow are still around everywhere. But soon enough, they'll be gone. I mean, gosh, that was 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks ago. So that should be gone by now. But yeah, now you got to watch it if Jerry Pulaski's throwing you a cigar, because you know, he doesn't smoke the greatest stuff sometimes. I'm just saying, I don't know if I would be smoking what Jerry's smoking. Just saying. All right, next call.
Jerry
here. We did that one. Yeah, well, we did. This one. This is the next call.
Hey, Nicholas. This is your old pal, Noah's Lesnick calling.
What up, Noah?
I'm drinking, and it got me, I came up with a hypothetical here.
Oh, boy.
Well, I didn't come up with it, but I heard it, and I thought it would be good to share your thoughts. All right, you have a bowl of grapes, and there is 100 grapes in this bowl.
Is this the grape controversy?
For each grape you eat, you get $100,000. However, within this bowl of 100 grapes, there is one deadly grape, a poisonous grape that upon eating it, you will die immediately. And you don't get any of the money that you have accumulated. No, your family doesn't get any of it. How many grapes, if any, are you eating? Me, I'm rolling the dice. I'm eating 5 to 10 grapes. Curious in your thoughts. Talk to you later.
Well, Noah, it's obvious that you and Jerry had a little powwow prior, and Jerry called in before you and talked about this, because I was wondering what he was talking about with grapes, and now I know. Now I know what this is about. So, you know, maybe next time, maybe put the blackberry brandy down for a moment, call me with the question, and then, you know, anyway, it's neither here nor there. So how many is 100 grapes, and I get $100,000 for every grape I eat, but there's one poisonous grape in the bowl. So I have a 1 in 100 chance of dying. But I also have a 99 in 100 chance of getting $100,000. Oh, it's a good question. The safe, the part of me is sitting here going like, I wouldn't need any. There's that, because with my luck, I'd get that one. But on the flip side, I got a lot of opportunity for some money. I would probably, what would I do? I don't know. What would everyone else do? This is a good question, actually. I like these questions. What would I do? I'd probably roll the dice and eat like 1 or 2. I'd probably cap it at like one or 2. 2 would be me being greedy. 1 would be I could do a lot of good in my life with 1. Let's put it that way. For me to have $100,000 drop into my lap from eating 1 grape, yeah, you know what? I could do a lot of good in my life with that $100,000. 2 would clear the deck of any problems whatsoever and give me a nice fat wad of cash to squirrel away and have in reserve. I know I couldn't go past 2 because I'm struggling even to want to accept to do 1. Yeah, I'd do 1. I'd do 1, and I would struggle mightily to do a second. I don't know if I could. I may have to tap out at just one. I'm not a greedy individual. I don't, you know, I actually live a relatively simple life. You know, when I talked about this in the lottery episode, it's like, I don't need $1 billion. I don't need all this. I live a relatively simple life. So I don't necessarily need, to have, like, you know, all this money coming at me like that. So truthfully, one grape is where I tap out. And, yeah, I don't need that second one. I roll the dice on one grape and hope to God that that it's not Murphy's Law and the one grape I get is the one grape that kills me. So, all right. Good call. I like the thinkers like that. That's fun. I like that. That's a good time. So, all right. We got another call here.
Hi, my name is William. I'm just calling to help you out with the cold problem that you seem to be having with your propane heaters. If you're going to precondition your garage, I would suggest using a diesel fuel heater. You could probably get a smaller one around $150. And the diesel heater should last you about 8 hours. So if you're going to preheat your garage, I would go ahead and use that. We were using that on a job site. I've got two torpedo heaters, 165,000 BTUs. Seems to keep the guys warm at -30 in a hooch. So I just suggest you using that instead of the propane heaters, because propane, you're just going to be fighting the refill thing. I have to do that every day. We have 6 cylinders that I'm refilling at least 2 of them every day. And that's just to heat areas like buildings without heat that we have, and a few guys in there run into those propane heaters. Just a thought for you. Might help preheating your garage and then using those propane heaters as you're in there. Let me know if I can help any further than that. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, William. I appreciate that input. I've never used a diesel fuel heater before. So, truthfully, up until I moved to this house, so I had the ice tent, and that's in storage right over there. But you know, the ice tent served me well for a number of years. Because it was insulated and I could set it outside. And to be honest, all I ever did with that was I plugged in an electric heater and ran the extension cord, you know, out and into the outlet on the house. That worked well. Didn't work well for my electric bill. I didn't really, and that's on me. I'm a dumbass. All those years in the duplex that I was out in the ice tent for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, I always chalked my high electric bill in the wintertime up to drafty windows and doors in the duplex. And don't get me wrong, I had horribly drafty windows and doors in that duplex. But I always wondered, why was it that my furnace or my heat caused my bill to go up so high? But in the summer, when I was running the air conditioning, it never went up that high. Well, it's because I was running this electric heater out in the ice tent, and that thing was just sucking the power. I had no idea. I learned that after. But anyway, when I moved to the house and I started smoking in the garage, the electric heater just could not keep up. So that's when I got the first of the little, you know, Mr. Heater buddies. And originally that year I was using these guys, the little 1 pound cans. But I've since upgraded. I got the core or the cables or the hoses so that I can attach the 15 pound big propane canisters. Yes, the refills kind of suck. But what's nice is, you know, for me, I've got the 2 heaters going. I don't really run them on high unless it's like super cold out. Like tonight, as I sit here right now, I have them both on medium, and the current outside temperature is 42, feels like 32. That's not so bad. Truthfully, I could probably, they're only on medium right now because I didn't preheat the garage before I came out here. I probably could take them down a little bit. And to be honest, before this episode is over with, I probably will, because they do get warm. When it's super, super cold, they can't, they don't keep up with that. But, I'm not too bad. Thankfully, with the big ones, the big 15-pound cans, I've been doing some refills. I had that one incident where I was all over Hell's Half Acre before recording, and that might be what you're talking about, where I was running here, running there, and because I was preheating, and as soon as I would come out, the damn thing was... But that was on me because both cans were almost empty, and I knew that both cans were almost empty, but I was pushing it and trying to get through one more episode before I got refills, and I should have just sucked it up. But anyway, William, I appreciate the input and the thought. Truthfully, I don't know what's going to happen. I would love to get a shed, for an office at this at the house, so that I can make a little recording studio in the backyard, get that nice and done up, and then that way I can move the smoking out there. But for the time being, the garage is what it is. That's why I parked the car aside from the fact that I want to keep the car in the garage, I'd like to keep the car in the garage too, because it fills up space, and it's less space that the heaters have to fill. It's kind of that whole concept of the refrigerator works better when it's full. Well, when the garage is more full, there's less air that has to be heated up. So anyway, whatever. I don't know. I'm rambling. I appreciate the call there, William. All righty. Now we've got a few more calls here. Let's just kind of look and see what... All right, I'm just looking at the sequence of them here. So, all right. So we will do this next call now.
What's up, Nick? This is Dakota over in Tennessee.
I let my cigar go out.
So it's currently 12:05 a.m. I'm an old man, and I've been up since 8 a.m. So, I'm super tired. I just had to drive 4 hours from... essentially Memphis, Tennessee, to a place called Lafayette, Tennessee, which is east of Gallatin, which is east of Nashville. Anyway, it's over a 4-hour drive.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm near the end of it, and I'm past the punch drunk phase, and I'm now just at the dead ass, dog ass, tired phase. So I figured, I was listening to your podcast, and I might call in, to keep myself awake for, the last 15 minutes.
Nothing like some
15 minutes
punch-drunk conversation.
Oh. But anyway, this winter storm Fern came through. I ain't even going to talk about shit. I'm just going to be talking, dude. I'm so sorry.
The storm had a name?
Winter storm Fern is a crazy name for a storm, but hey, that's what happened here. And apparently, they are requesting rangers to help clear roads, and then they requested a whole bunch of rangers after I signed up for what's called a Sawyer deployment, which is anybody that's chainsaw certified throughout the state that can fell trees or cut down trees out of a highway that have fallen into a highway, which is me. They want us out there to do that. And then after I signed up for that, they made a call for medical response to Nashville, I guess, for whatever, they get all the people that are out of their homes in the one spot. And I don't know. They just need a bunch of medical people there to take blood pressures and stuff.
Huh.
But no, I'm doing the Sawyer deployment. Where are we at? Yeah, I'm doing a Sawyer deployment. And so I'll just be out here on random roads cutting the trees that have fallen so people can get places and, I don't know, buy food maybe. So that's what we're doing. I was going to wait to call tomorrow because I want to be here for 2 days at least. And I brought me some cigars to celebrate the end of each day. And I was going to wait, but you know what? I decided to call so that wake up a little bit. And it's working. It worked. It's great. Anyway, appreciate you, Nick. Say your battle about ain't shit about nothing. But yeah, you have a nice day.
You know, Dakota, I if I were you, I'd have been lighting up a cigar and I'd be smoking the cigar while I'm cutting the tree with the chainsaw out of the highway. It's like, if you're going to be doing that kind of man work, have the cigar going at the same time. Have all these people struggling to drive by to get by this tree in the road, being all like, look at that guy being a badass with his cigar and his chainsaw, you know? It's like, why not? You know? If you're going to go for it, go for it. You know, and that you bring up a good point. You know, where I live was on the upper edge of the storm. So I just got a shit ton of snow, and it was very dry and powdery, super powdery, to where if somebody was smart and they were, well, I wasn't even here, but if somebody were smart and they were keeping track of it all throughout, if they just would have been going out and just hitting their driveway with a leaf blower when there was just a little bit of snow, they could have stayed on top of it and kept their driveway clear. Yeah, I saw somebody, you know, trying to do it with a leaf blower after it was done, and it's like, well, no, you're not going to get a foot of snow off your driveway with a leaf blower at that point. You should have been doing it all throughout, but that's neither here nor there. But what I would like to say is that, you know, further south of me is where a lot of the ice and snow and everything hit. And those are places that aren't used to this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, I was tracking the conditions in Memphis a lot, truthfully, through Teddy's Facebook posts and things like that. And yeah, you guys got hit. You guys got hit hard. And, you know, I just want to thank all of the first responders all over the place, not just, you know, my area. You know, like I said, it was snow. It was not I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal for them, but it wasn't nearly as big of a deal as it was for other people. But, you know, there's a lot that goes into dealing with winter storms like this, especially when you couple that with the freezing temperatures. You know, so not only am I talking about, when I say first responders, I'm not only talking about, you know, the typical, the cops, the firemen, and the EMTs, but like you've got guys like Dakota going out that are chopping trees out of roads with chainsaws and whatever else. You've got electric linemen. You know, God bless the electric linemen that were going out in the freezing ass temperatures and dealing with power outages, because, you know, those power outages, that impacts everybody's heat and this and that and whatever. I mean, so like there's so much that went into that, and there's a lot of people that I don't think get nearly enough credit for keeping us safe during a winter storm like that. So yeah, good job. And it's much appreciated, and I'm glad you you can always call in and use the hotline as somebody to talk to if you're punch drunk and driving at midnight there, Dakota. It's cool. Looks like he actually called one more time. I don't know if it was the same day or not, but we'll listen to this second message here real quick.
Yeah, I forgot. This is Dakota again. I forgot. I meant in the last thing, I'm way behind. I don't know if you can hear my GPS yelling at me, but anyway, I'm way behind. So I just did the, 2025 just did the balls episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm a Leo, which means nothing, I guess. I don't know what that means. But I know I am one. And I have heard that my son is a Taurus.
The
bull one, right?
Yeah.
And apparently that it's weird that I'm a Leo and he's a Taurus. I don't know why that's weird, but that's what they said. So anyway, useless information. There you go.
I don't know why that would be weird. It literally just corresponds to when you and your wife had sex. I mean, that's truly all birth dates come down to. I heard recently that there are a lot of birth dates in September. apparently in the United States there's more birthdays in September than any other month, and it's because if you track it back, it leads to January. And what are we doing when it's cold in January? Apparently we're having sex. So it kind of makes sense. So in terms of why that would be weird, I don't know, man. Maybe you weren't supposed to get laid in the period of time that you did, and produced your son. That, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's all I know. I don't know anything about the various things. Like I said, Instagram keeps trying to teach me about Sagittarius and what that means. And I will admit that some of these little videos are interesting because I watch them and I go, that's me. And I mentioned that to Trey Mac, and he's like, dude, they're supposed to do that. That's the whole point of this. And I'm just like, not meaning necessarily that it's supposed to be specific to your zodiac sign, but it's like, that's part of the con of it all. And I'm just like, yeah, but it's very specific. It's very specific to me, so I don't know. There are some very interesting things that, I've seen. So who knows, whatever. Apparently I'm the devil's best friend. A Sagittarius is apparently the devil's best friend. I don't know what that's all about, but I did see that in an Instagram video. So whatever. I don't know. All right. Moving on, we have another call here.
Hey, Nick, Jacob here from West Virginia, or Boots. So I wanted to share a quick anecdote I had about a prostate exam myself.
Oh, my God.
When I got out of the Navy, we did radiation work. So they had to check our prostate. So I had to do this entire physical with the VA. And when I was done, the doctor, she told me, all right, so there's something we got to do, but you don't have to have it done if you don't want to have it done. I said, what do you mean? She's like, well, we got to do the prostate exam. And I said, well, what do you mean I don't have to have it done? And she's like, well, I mean, it needs done, but some guys don't want it done by a woman. And I thought about that for a second. I looked at he's the size of mine.
No.
Myself. Whereas I really don't want to have a prostate exam done. If I'm going to have it done, I'd rather be done by tiny hands.
Bingo!
So I tell her, you know what, let's just go ahead and take care of this. After I showed her the difference in our hand size, she kind of laughed about it. Said, okay, well, here's the deal. I got to have somebody else in the room, obviously, for your safety and mine. And I'm thinking, what's about to happen to you? I need protection from you, right? How bad is this going to get?
Yeah, it's lawsuit
safety,
not
in
physical safety.
The secretary at the desk, not even another nurse, just the one working desk.
Oh, no.
And stands in the corner facing the corner, so she can't see anything.
The fact
and
he's
now
cutting
I'm thinking
out
to
makes
myself,
it funnier.
what's this woman even in here? She can't be a witness for anything. So whose safety is she really in here for? Or is it literally just here so that somebody else knows there is a finger up my asshole right now? I think it's more about being degraded. So either way, I lay up on this table in the fetal position. They don't have you bend over anymore. It was the fetal position. Now, again, over 10 years ago. But I'm in a fetal position, in, out, done, and I have a lubed up asshole. And all I can think of is, this isn't okay. So I also have an hour drive home from the VA doctor. So I called up my wife and I said, hey, what's that purse you wanted from on base down here? And she tells me, good, well, I'm going to buy that for you because I'm also buying a new gun. I need to get my manhood back. I'm buying a new gun. So all that to say is it's a very unpleasant experience. If you get the choice, it's more embarrassing to get it done by a woman who has smaller hands. Now, I will also say, and I know I don't have much time left, but if your doctor is trying to go straight for the finger, he's messing up. They do have tests and they can do blood work, other work to show whether or not it actually needs done. So don't let him go straight for the finger first. Only if good work comes back later on and says need to. Either way, stay smoky. Have a great day.
Okay. So the fact that his phone was cutting in and out kind of amused me at one point because, like, he's telling the story and then, like, all of a sudden, she's standing in the corner. And it's like, what? There was something that was missed there. And it just, the fact that it was missed made it even funnier to me. But, Boots, I'm with you there, man. I would much rather have a woman with slender fingers going up there than a dude, because I mean, I've got like hot dog fingers, and God forbid Dave Garofalo ever get into the prostate exam game, because I mean, anybody who bought the fat finger cigars, knows you don't want one of those things going up your butt. So yeah, wow. But yeah, dude, that other woman was in the room not for your physical safety, but for the safety of the VA for litigation purposes. That was purely all that's for. That was a CYA, cover your ass. HR thing is all that was. But yeah, wow. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. No, I don't want that. So anyway, I mean, it's going to happen, I guess, at some point or another, but the longer I can head that off, I'm going to be better. All right. Well, we have 2 more calls here, and then we'll wrap up this Ask the Pulpit.
Yeah, Noah again. So I got another one for you there, Nick. All right, $5,000.
Okay.
For every day you don't shower. So how many days could you go? So that means no washing your face, no shower of any kind. You can use water to drink and brush your teeth.
Okay, I can't brush my teeth.
You can't bathe in any way. No showers, no bath, no washing your face, no washing your hair. So, like, if you are sweating a lot, you can't shower,
Can I wash my hands if I go to the
bathroom? Gym, et cetera, et cetera. How many days could you go? $5,000 for every day. Look forward to your answer.
Can I wash my hands after the bathroom? Because that's a health and sanity. I mean, granted, not showering itself is a health and sanitary issue, but the bathroom specifically, that would bother me greatly, not being able to wash my hands after I go to the bathroom. How many days? I need my shower every day. That's how I wake up. I drink coffee, but I'm not a everyday coffee person, and I'm not a I need my pot of coffee in the morning, that kind of thing. I don't wake up with coffee. I wake up in the shower. So realistically, that would throw me off right there. And my hair, I get the oil builds quickly with my hair. And my hair gets very big. It's something about my hair. Like when I sleep and I wake up, I'm like, it's big. It's poofy. So it's going to be pretty obvious after a day that I didn't shower. For every day. Bud, I'm all right. I'm just trying to think. So when I had my kidney thing back in about a year ago, I will freely admit I went a handful of days without showering there because moving was just a thing. Realistically, but I had to by the 4th day, 3 days. It's actually not even, it's kind of not even 3 days. It's you shower the morning of one day, you don't shower the next day, and then you don't shower that next day, but then by that next day you shower again. So the only days that I don't technically shower, there's only 2 days in there that I do not shower. It ends up being most of that first day because I shower in the morning. But yeah, I'd probably only hit 2, man. I'd probably only hit 2 before I had to shower. Now, realistically, this is me thinking in my current mindset where money is not on the line. If, let's say, I absolutely 100% had $5,000 coming my way, and all I had to do was just not shower, if I didn't have to go anywhere, if I could just hermit up in my house and just be stinky in my house. I mean, granted, at some point you do kind of like the body odor is a bitch. I mean, realistically, if I had that kind of money on the line, I could probably stretch it to 5 or 6. I'd feel fucking disgusting. And then that first shower would be an hour long, and I would, lather, rinse, repeat. I'd be doing that like 8 times. I mean, the showering that would occur after I finally do it would be intense. But, yeah, I could probably go 5 or 6 if I had that kind of money on the line and I had nowhere to go. Now, if you're telling me you have to go out in public and you have to do things and this and that and whatever, I'm at best only doing 2 days without showering. But if I can be a hermit, I could probably stretch it to 5 or 6 and do that. Which that wouldn't be a bad payday, man. 25, 30 grand for just hanging out. That's not it. And as long as I can brush my teeth, that more than anything. Like when you mentioned that helped, because if you would have counted brushing your teeth in this process, I'd have had a real problem at that point, because I can't do that. But my one caveat I need to know is, can I wash my hands after I go to the bathroom? Because if I can't wash my hands after I go to the bathroom, I'm going to be stinky and not showered with like rubber gloves on or something like that. Cause I like swapping out the gloves, like my barbecue gloves or something like that. I won't be able to do that. So, all right. Noah with the brain teasers. I'm liking this.
JRE here.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw my old 2 cents in, weigh in there on this shower debate.
Oh, you guys are talking about this again,
talking about there. Old JRE here has once gone several months without showering.
That doesn't shock
6.5 to be exact.
God.
It was in Nam, as it turns out. Not during the war effort, but in the early 80s there, I went to Vietnam. I was armed, however, and I did knock out the water supply in my hostel there, as it turns out, thinking I did see a Charlie. It was, in fact, later informed to me that it was the water supply that I had shot down there. But, with the light the way it was there, old Jerry Pulaski here, without water for several days, weeks. It turned into weeks there. And I just kind of continued that trend all the way home as I got back there. And went to 6.5 months, as it turns out.
Okay. Well, for whatever reason, that doesn't surprise me. So let's do the math on that, though. So let's just average 30 days to the month. So we got 30 at 6, that's 180, plus another 15 for the half a month. It's 195 days times, what do you say, $5,000 a day? I mean, dude, that's a cool $975,000 that you made by not showering. So there we go. If you go 7 months without showering, you're making a cool $1 million. But what kind of life is that? What kind of life is that if you're not showering for 7 months? Anyway, thank you to everybody for the calls. I really appreciate it. You can get your calls in on the hotline at area code 863-874-0000 or TOFUPIE0000. All righty. Well, let's move right into this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right. Well, what have I been watching lately? I finished the little spin-off show of Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte. And it was the story of how the Queen and the King ended up getting back together back in the day. And it was a little deviation, I guess. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if it was one of those things where maybe it was a little while between seasons and they wanted to do something in the meantime or what. But for whatever reason, they did this little spin-off show. And I'll be honest, it was good. It was not bad. In the Bridgerton universe, it was entertaining, and it was kind of sad because the king is crazy, and the queen kind of takes care of him, and but they still find love, despite his madness. But it was good. I enjoyed it, and it fleshed out that queen character a lot because she's in the main show, but she's just kind of been kind of a bitch, and at least now you kind of realize like what her deal is, and maybe have a little bit more sympathy for her, I guess. But it's been pretty good. So there's that. And then otherwise, I have continued on my trend of watching Star Trek The Next Generation episodes on Paramount Plus since getting better. Now, I'm not watching it straight through, because there are some dogs in that series, and I say that as somebody who loves Star Trek The Next Generation, but there are some episodes that are just like, oh, what the fuck? But there are some really, really good ones, and I watched a couple of them the other night. Specifically, there's one called Genesis, where Picard and Data go off in a shuttle to try and retrieve a runaway missile, and while they're gone, the ship undergoes this, like, long story short, a virus. It's caused by a T cell, some sort of T cell, something or other. A virus hits the ship, and sorry, I got a thing in my throat, and I'm trying to clear it out. But what it causes is all the people on the ship to de-evolve, evolutionary wise. So like Riker becomes like a Neanderthal dude. Troy, apparently her people, like, whatever, she becomes like this amphibious creature, so she's like living in her bathtub. Worf becomes this giant proto-Klingon, and it's badass because he's basically this just like beast, and he's running around the ship just terrorizing all these other animal people that are all over the ship. But like there's a bunch turned into monkey people and this and that and whatever. So then when they come back, of course, Picard gets infected by it, and so they have a limited amount of time before Picard ends up becoming like this like proto monkey thing too. And so Data is working on he has to figure out what's going on and figure out the antidote and all this kind of shit and everything. And so it's a fun it was a fun episode, and I really enjoy that one. There was another one where they encounter this one was called Masks, where they encounter this library of this ancient civilization, and like this beam attaches to the Enterprise and starts like converting the Enterprise into this like ancient city, and they have to try to figure out how to stop that. And Data gets corrupted and becomes like this god creature, and they're having to like basically like address the library programming through conversations with Data. And I don't know, it was fun. It was a good one, and it kind of like allowed Picard to do his whole like archaeology thing that he's all into and stuff. But anyway, I've been geeking out on Star Trek The Next Generation, and what it's leading me towards is I'm building up episodes. I think the 6th episode should be hitting sometime very soon of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, the new one that's out. And I've been building up episodes in reserve so that I can sit and binge through that. Apparently, the most recent episode really heavily ties into the conclusion of Deep Space Nine, which makes me very happy because Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek of all of them. It was my least favorite at the time that it came out, and I've gone back and I'm just like, holy shit, this is like the best out of all of them. So for what it's worth, I'm really geeking out and waiting and looking forward to watching that. So that should be hopefully pretty soon that I get around to that. So anyway, that's really what I've been watching lately for the Villiger Report. I don't have Desert Island Entertainment right now. Let's be real. It's Desert Island. You can't just name something all the time. I mean, you got your top favorites and stuff, but I'm thinking about it. That's something that, like I said, we'll revisit that periodically. Guests when they come on the show, if I'll ask what they've been watching lately. But I'm likely to ask about their Desert Island stuff too, because everybody can come up with something off the top of their head. Well, anyway, that's what I've been watching lately.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars I smoked and enjoyed lately. Now, I've only recently started getting back in smoking cigars. It's been funny because, I took off time for that head cold. And it's so interesting to me how it doesn't take long to lose it, And then when you come back, you're like thinking, I can sit down and pound out however many I normally do in a day. And no. One might kick your ass and that might be it, and whatever else. But what's interesting is when you do come back and the flavor is just so significantly more pronounced because you've given your palate that time to relax. So anyway, 3 cigars I have smoked and enjoyed lately since returning to cigars. The first one I want to highlight is one I picked up over at the Total Wine, and it's a My Father Blue. It's the Honduran cigar from My Father Cigars. Very pretty. I don't have it anymore. I think I got rid of the band. Very pretty, like baby blue band with the ribbon and everything. It's a very nice presentation. From what I'm told, and I haven't verified this at all, so take this for what it's worth. I was told that it's basically The Judge, but with a different wrapper. I don't know if that's accurate or not because I think it's all supposed to be Honduran. Or maybe it was made in the Honduran factory, and that's what I don't know. I don't know enough to say, but it was good. It's nice. The only bitch that I have about it, and I've had a conversation or two with somebody about this, is that the cigar has an MSRP of I think $12, maybe $12.99. Let's just say $12.99, but I think it's $12. And everywhere I have found this cigar, by and large, it's overpriced. Total Wine by me has the Toro for $15.99, Gordo $17.99, Robusto I think is $13.99. So Total Wine is getting $4 over MSRP on this cigar. Everywhere I have found the blue, and to be honest, finding the blue is not the easiest thing. I find a lot of empty boxes of the blue, so it seems to be popular. But everywhere that I've seen the blue, by and large, they're overpriced, and I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if retailers are finding that it's popular and so they're upping the price on it. I would have thought Total Wine would have had some sort of a agreement, to stick to MSRP. I don't know what the deal is there, but they are definitely, I have a photo. I mean, straight up, they're charging $16 for the Toro, which, it's not a $16 cigar. It's good. I would pay $12. I would be happy paying $12. $16, I'm not doing that on the regular. That's too much for me for that cigar. So, and I'm not saying it's a bad cigar. I'm just saying that that's not a good price for that cigar. So yeah, I was not But I did it because I hadn't had one at the Toro size, and I'm like, well, let's just go ahead and suck it up and do it. And I did, and like I said, I enjoyed it, but not $16 worth. Next cigar I had that I enjoyed recently was the Aladino Fuminoche. That's one that it came out, and it seems like with the Cameroon Reserva that came out, and then the 85th, it seems like the Fuminoche kind of got a little lost in the mix. I'm not saying it did. Aladino obviously knows their sales numbers. From what I gather, it's doing very well in stores that it's in. But it's one that maybe it bypassed my radar kind of quickly. I don't know, but it's not one that I go to on the regular. And so it was kind of a nice little treat. And, yeah, man, it just gives you that nice full-bodied smoking experience. Fuminoche meaning night smoke, it kind of hits right there. And I had it in the evening, and it hit the spot. It was a good smoke. I enjoyed it. And then the last one that I smoked and had enjoyed was one that I had bought down at Ashenale when I was down there in January, and that would be the United Gold Star. Fantastic cigar. It was your Pulpit Parishioners number 5 cigar of 2025. I smoked the hell out of those in 2025, and it's an all-around great cigar, so I'm happy to have smoked and enjoyed that here recently. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's that time where I tell you that I am available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun there by finding the group. It's a private group, so you have to request access. I let you in, and then you can share what you're smoking and enjoying. I'm on Twitter /X. You can watch this on Rumble and YouTube. Call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. 863-874-0000. See, Dave, I even forget the number. So TOFUPIE0000. That's TOFUPIE0000. And then while you're doing that kind of stuff, like I said, make sure... Oh, and you can email me, nick@cigarpulpit.com, for those of you who maybe are too shy for the voicemails. But otherwise, if you, speaking of cigarpulpit.com, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, which, by the way, for those of you who are signed up for it, make sure you're watching, because it will be hitting your inbox. It's called the Cigar Chronicle. I know it's a little different than Pulpit, and whatever, but there's like I said, it's because I want to put it into lounges as a supplement to lounges, a print edition that I didn't brand it as Cigar Pulpit. It's a add-on to the podcast experience, but it really I really don't. It's not a podcast specific newsletter. It's more of a general cigar and goofiness. There's a lot to it that it's in the vein of the Pulpit, but it's a lot more. It's its own entity within the sphere of it all. But anyway, head on over to cigarpulpit.com. Use that little pop-up window that pops up to sign up for that and get in on the list, and then you'll be getting the next one, which will be hitting email inboxes sometime in mid-February. So you can get in on the fun there. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed my well, it's out again. I'm talking too much. My 1888 Nicaragua Churchill from Villiger Cigars. I'm going to finish it here shortly. As soon as we wrap up the show, I'll sit here and probably watch the back half of the Next Generation episode I was watching last night when I called it quits, and finish that, and then get this edited up and out to you. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I truly do appreciate it. And I will be back with you soon. So this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpits. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smart. hear from all of you. How many days would you go without showering for $5,000? And how many grapes would you eat for $100,000 each? But one of those grapes might be poison and kill you. Talk to you.